Bring that joy.
In one word, describe the game's hangout.
Vibrant. Everyone's kind of getting along, playing games.
I would be underestimating if I gave it any less than a 10, right? I've met some fantastic people here today, so it's a 10.
Oh, I'm loving it. I'm loving it, especially this drink from Quarter of Cards. Yes, the best drink ever, passion fruit.
I had a lot of fun, honestly. I feel I've been in touch with my inner child, which is something I should do more.
Such a different atmosphere altogether. I don't think I have ever been to such an event earlier.
What's your impression of Builders Tribe so far?
Builders Tribe just screams community. It's just for the people.
The way you've managed and organized this event, I'm really impressed because it's something that we haven't done before and we were lacking as a community.
It's a nice community. I love how you came up with the idea to network with a lot of people. Networking, chilling, hanging out, playing cards. I love it. Drinks, especially. I love my drinks.
Community. Coming together. I've met 6 new people today, which is really good. And I'm going to take those meetings further. I'm going to just through games.
It is getting interesting, and I think after today's conversation that I had around the table, there's some interesting subject and plan and project coming up.
This tech community is different in terms of the way networking is being happening. There are these young minds behind it, so we get to learn a lot with these guys.
I've been looking for a community such as this for quite some time.
It's a lovely community actually and diverse. I love that I met some people who work with as mentors in the community, and it's also fun to see some university students joining, so there's a really diverse, let's say, background of people joining all in all.
Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Ajiri Omafupe and I'm co-founder at Builders Tribe. Builders Tribe is an amazing community in the MENA region. And today we're having Tech Forward Talks. Tech Forward Talks is our monthly series that we do to essentially educate the tech community here. We have different people ranging from startup founders to investors to startup mentors to tech leaders like our lovely Bukunmi today that take us through different topics to help people both on their startup journey or on their professional journey. Today's Tech Forward Talks is about us learning why users stay. So essentially the science of retention and how you can get your users to be engaged and loyal. Taking us through this today is Bukunmi Folorunsho. Bukunmi is an amazing tech and innovation leader that has been doing this for so many years. And today she will tell us how we can get our customers to come in and stay after they've experienced our product. So I would like to remind everyone that this is a live session. So if you have any questions, we can answer them live. And so, yes, just like Ade doing, you can send in your questions. And when it's time for our Q&A, we're going to put it up like this. And then Bukunmi can answer the questions. All right. So right now, without further ado, I'm going to be handing over to Bukunmi Folorunsho. Over to you, Bukunmi. Bukunmi, you're muted.
Sorry about that.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
Thank you, Ajuri. It's lovely to be present here. And everyone, let me show my screen.
All right. We think Bukunmi is having a little bit of connection challenge. So while we wait for Bukumi, let's hear from everybody in the audience. What's happening? Where are you tuning in live from? Tell us your location, where you're at. I'm currently in Doha, Qatar. I would like to see and hear from all of you where you're currently located. All right, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Okay, so while I'm waiting for all of you to tell me where you're tuning in from, let me tell you a little bit about the Builders Tribe community and why we started it. So we essentially started Builders Tribe because when we moved to Qatar, it felt like even though lots of things were happening in their silos, and it was hard to connect with people after they after events, for example, because everyone just went their ways and to their jobs, and we needed a way to feel community like we had experienced in West Africa. And so we started Builders Tribe, and like the video you watched, were really diverse. We have people from different parts of the world in our community, different ages. I think we have people in their 50s, in their 60s, and people as young as 16 in the community. So we have different initiatives from very playful things where people can just come together, play together, and connect, like our Playfest events. Hello, Precious from Nigeria, to things on the other side of the divide that are a little more educational. For example, we had our LinkedIn 101 event that had us welcome over 120 students in one place that learned how to use LinkedIn. Shout out to Workington, our lovely partner, and Apply Qatar. We have a bunch of other partners that support the community, like Soul Hit. We had an event over at Tech Olympics over at their location. It was great. It was amazing. Just a bunch of people coming together with one interest, fitness, and doing everything together. Hello, Ayomide from Qatar, Tomira from Lagos, Nigeria. I see you too. Great to have everyone on board. Okay, I guess you're back. Over to you, Bukomi.
Yes, thank you, Ajuri. And sorry about that. I was having a bit of internet network issues. Okay. See. All right. Okay. So just like Ajuri mentioned, I would be touching on the topic why users stay, the science behind retaining users. Right. Before I dive in, I will just share a bit about myself. I have over 7 years of experience in product conceptualization. Okay. All right. My slide is up now. So I have over 7 years of experience in product conceptualization, development, launch, and management. I have a Bachelor's of Engineering degree in Electrical Electronics from Covenant University in Nigeria. My Over the years, right, I have worked with various industries. I have conceptualized products for the edtech industry, fintech industry, crypto, e-commerce, and food tech. I have worked on several key projects that are in the market. Some of them you might be familiar with. Tep Center, Minting Digital Bank, Yellow Card, AfroInvest, Optimus by AfroInvest, Vendy's Marketplace, Vendy's RMS, and Prodly. Prodly is my most recent project, and it's an AI powered idea monetization and innovation tool. If you're interested in creating ideas and also monetizing your ideas, you can head over to prodly.com to join the waitlist. So today we would be, touching on why is user retention important. Acquiring new users is 5 times more expensive than retaining existing ones. So it's important that we invest, right, in retaining current users on our platform. Another reason is loyal users drive referrals and sustainable revenue. We have a lot of product in the market, and as much as they say that they are building a solution that's building a software that will solve a problem, right? Majority of these apps are doing what they are doing because they want to earn profit. So one way or a key way for them to keep ensuring inflows is by retaining their users. So loyal users drive referrals and sustainable revenue. We're going to talk on the psychology of engagements, strategies for long-term user retention, and also go over real-world case studies. But before we delve into that, I wanted us to quickly go over 7 popular myths about user retention and engagement. Number one, more features equal higher retention. The concept that users will stay engaged if we keep adding new features is false. In reality, feature bloat overwhelms users. Instead, we should focus on solving core user needs with simplicity and clarity. Two, users leave because of price. There is the usual concept that if users churn, it is because the product is too expensive. That's also false because in reality, many users churn due to poor onboarding, lack of perceived value, or negative, user experience, not just the cost. So it's very important that as product designers, product managers, you even founders, you try to find a balance with this because we want them to keep using the platform, right? And because of that, we need to ensure that the onboarding process is seamless. We need to ensure that the product is valuable. We're delivering value at every given time, and also ensure that the user experience is top notch. Number three, gamification always boosts engagements. There is a concept that adding badges, leaderboards, or streaks may make users stay. That's also false because you need to ensure, we all, know the term or have heard the term simplicity and minimalistic designs. So this is where this comes in. Gamification works when only aligned with intrinsic motivation. If you come on a platform and you see a lot of activities happening just on one page, it's already a turn off for a user. So you have to try as much as possible that when you're implementing or incorporating gamification into your products, right, you need to ensure that it aligns with intrinsic motivation. An example would be Duolingo. Duolingo leverages learning progress, not just points, when you're trying to get users to keep engaging with the platform to learn new languages and the likes. Four, loyalty equals frequent usage. People think that once users open the app daily, or if they get to use the app, if they get to open the app daily, right, it means they are loyal. That is not the case always, right? A loyal user values the product even if they don't use it every day. Case in point would be Airbnb, right? Airbnb is so valuable. As soon as you think of, oh, I want to travel, right? The next thing you do is to go onto Airbnb, to book your to book a destination apartment, right? So we have examples like that. Number 5, push notifications will bring users back. This is another myth, and it is also false because users are inactive, right? The concept that users are inactive and we just need to send more reminders. I've lost count of the number of apps that I've uninstalled because of this, right? Because intrusive notifications lead to frustration and app uninstalls. Instead of that, you need to sort of come up with personalized value driven notifications. You also need to ensure that they are timed. You can't keep sending user notifications and think that you're getting them to you're bringing them back to the application, or you're reminding them to use your app. They have a life. They have a life, right? You can't keep spamming them with notifications or messages. So you have to ensure that whatever messaging that you're passing across to your users are strategic, right? And strategic meaning you have to think of the time, you have to think of the messaging, the copy, what you're sending, and how you're going to phase this information so that you don't overwhelm them. 6, great products sell themselves. There is a concept that if a product is good enough, users will stay forever. That's usually not the case. Even the best products need continuous iteration, strong onboarding, and community building to maintain engagement. Another thing would be an effective customer support, right? I was looking up this research about how having an effective customer support actually, builds trust with users. Number 7, churn happens instantly. User decide to live in a single moment. That's another misconception. Churn is actually a slow process, and it's often due to declining perceived value over time. Monitoring early warning signs, example, drop in feature usage, can help prevent it. So, and part of the things that we'll be discussing in this, or I'll be sharing in this session, would be metrics that you can track to ensure that you're able to manage your churn rates effectively. Okay, now let's delve into this psychology of engagement. You would see on my screen that I have, a picture of newly engaged couples. And that is because what we're trying to do is we want users to be married to our application. For that to happen, just like in the case of building a relationship and building a relationship, nurturing a relationship up until marriage, right? There are certain things or factors that you need to consider, that you need to put in place to ensure that you keep your users, you retain your users, you keep them engaged on your platform. So what drives users to stay? 3 things: habit and behavior loops, right? And this is formed when there is that hook effect by regular interaction, right? 2, emotional connection. You want your users to feel valued and understood when engaging with your apps. You want them to feel valued, you want them to feel understood when engaging with your product. What we are discussing here today does not just apply to software products. You can also apply them to physical products, right? So, cognitive load. You want to ensure that your app is easy to use and there is also a sense of familiarity. Would also be touching on key psychological theories. So I have 7, right? And I'll go through them quickly. We have the hook model. The hook model was formed by Near Eyal, and it states that users get to build habits through 4-step cycle: trigger, action, reward, investment. Trigger meaning, that's the internal or external cue that prompts users to take action. So you need to have, there has to be that trigger, right? What is that cue? What's that hint that will prompt a user to take action? And that is why in a lot of applications, you see the concept of call to actions. Your call to actions need to be compelling because you want them to, right, things are fine. So you want them to, you want them to take an action, right? What is that action? An action is the behavior that you want the user to take so that they can get a reward, right? That behavior, what exactly do you want them to do so that they can get a reward? And you see that the concept of this hook model is tying a reward to every action. You see that in Instagram, right? That's a perfect example for the application of hook model. Right now, once that reward is in place, the users will naturally keep coming. There's a value they're receiving from this. In the case of Instagram, when you post a picture, right, and people get to people get to like your picture, drop comments, there is this sense of, oh, I feel seen. There's this sense of validation that most people tend to have, and because of that, you keep coming, you keep posting pictures, you keep engaging with the comments, you keep liking, you keep liking pictures on Instagram. Now, investment. Investment talks about the efforts that users put into engaging with your platform. Efforts can be time, data, right? So the more they keep investing in your platform, it naturally increases their commitment and they keep coming back. So the hook model is one psychological theory that has been proven to, boost user retention. So what I would like you to do is just review your application again and identify the trigger points, identify the hook. You need to be able to define all of these points in your application. What are the triggers? What would, prompt users to take action? What are these actions that they can take that they would be able to get a reward, right? And investment as well. So because if they can get a reward, they would naturally keep investing. So that's what you will need to identify on your applications. Number two, cognitive load reduction. This talks about minimizing complexity for ease of use, right? It's the mental effort that's required to use an application. You have to ensure that, an application is easy to use as much as possible, right? And you do this by simplifying UI UX, by simplifying UI UX flows. Examples could be incorporating clear labels, right? Incorporating info tips, right? Even a well-structured and intuitive navigation, right? So these are the things that would ease a user's use of your application, right? Another concept would be automating repetitive tasks. So if they have provided an information somewhere, maybe during onboarding, and it's required for another action within the application, you don't need to present the form again. You can easily use the autofill concepts, right? You can use autofill concept because they provided information before. You have that in your database. You can just autofill the form. So you just have to keep thinking of ways to reduce the mental effort that would be required to use your application. Number three, Fogg's behavior model. This was also developed by Dr. BJ Fogg, right? And it simply states that for behavior to happen, right, trigger, ability, and motivation must align. It's somewhat similar to the hook model, right? Trigger, like I mentioned, meaning cues that prompt users' action. Ability, how easy is it to take that action? Motivation, what's the user's desire to act? So once these three factors are aligned, behavior would naturally occur. Then four, Zeigarnik effect. So this states that people tend to remember unfinished tasks better than completed ones. You will see this in Netflix, right? Netflix implemented this continue watching feature. So The idea is to remind users of shows they are yet to complete, right? So as soon as you land on Netflix, you're going to see it. That's the first thing you see, right? Continue watching. So that way you're able to, keep track of uncompleted or unfinished tasks, and the users would, continue from where they've stopped. You would also see this in learning management softwares, right? A lot of times you pick up from where you stopped, you will see concepts like this being used. Then we have the reciprocity principle. The reciprocity principle just states that people tend to give back when they receive value, right? And an example of this would be free trials. So a lot of applications offer free trials. When the user can assess the value that the application gives, right, they naturally subscribe. So, and the reciprocity principle works perfectly when you are delivering value with your product, right? So it's very important that your product has to be valuable, right? And it has to be valuable, and it's something that you need to be big on. You need to always promote that value so that users can connect with it, right? And once they can connect with it, once they can ascertain that this product is valuable to me or to what I need it for, right, they would naturally keep subscribing and using the application. Number 6, self-determination theory. So this states that users stay when they feel autonomy, competence, and relatedness. This principle has been used by many tech tools. You see it in Figma, in GitHub, right? And the reason is because just take for instance Figma, right? The tool is there. It's great for designers, it's great for designers, product managers when you want to develop wireframes by using FigJam, even for developers when they are also converting the designs to, when they're trying to code the designs, right? So there is that sense of autonomy. As a designer, someone who is interested in product design, you can use Figma. You can use that to learn product design, right? It gives that sense of autonomy, that sense of control. You can wield the tool, to your own preference. We also have this in regular applications, right? We have features like profile settings or preferences, where users can set their preferences. They can customize the functionality of the application based on their preferences, right? So you need to ensure that if your application is going to become some form of if you want your users to build an habit with your application, right, you need to ensure that there is that level of autonomy that you give them. Then competence, right? You see the competence in learning management software, right? Because there's something you're trying to master. So you would see that in Coursera, in EDX, in Udemy. So a lot of this learning management software, they make use of the self-determination theory in how they design, how they conceptualize their products. Then relatedness. What they tell you? Yeah. Okay. All right. Then relatedness. So relatedness speaks to collaboration, and you see this. An example would be GitHub, right? Developers can collaborate with each other on GitHub. There is that sense of community. Even Figma, we have Figma community, we have Canva community. A lot of these tech tools that we use, right? They've embraced the self-determination theory so well that they've been able to create a following just because of this principle. Then loss aversion. So loss aversion is all about people tend to fear losing, right? Sorry, they fear losing benefits. They fear losing benefits and
Kayasu is a term derived from the Hokkien kaya, meaning of.
Sorry about that. So, loss aversion, right, states that people tend to fear losing benefits rather than, getting or keeping gains. So they don't want to lose benefits. And an example would be subscription services. You would have seen copies like you would lose access to premium features if you don't subscribe. Obviously, it's going to be a lot more personalized than I'm saying it, but it's prompting the user to keep subscribing so that they won't lose access to premium features, right? So if it is a tool that has been so beneficial to you, you're going to naturally keep subscribing. So these are key psychological theories that a lot of products have adopted, and you would see that even from the numbers, from the number of users, right, that get to use the application, from the transaction volume, from their revenue, you would see how profitable it has been for them. So the idea is deliver value. That is very important. Deliver value, ensure that the experience is top notch. Ensure that the experience is top notch, and you just watch users continue to use your application. So I also have here what I call the retention formula. So the retention happens when there is value perception, habits formation, and emotional bond, right? You can't take away emotional connection from, building or boosting retention on your platform. Value perception, users need to continuously see the benefit of your product. Like I mentioned earlier, you need to keep promoting the value of your product. What value does it bring? What problem does it solve? You need to be able to, articulate that and also promote it. Then habit formation, we discussed or I shared, details about the hook model earlier. So habit formation, that 4 cycle: trigger, action, reward, investment. If you don't have that, if you don't identify that on your product, you should do it, because it will definitely create a hook effect for users. Then emotional bond, you need to ensure that every other aspect of your company, so the customer support team, right, even the developers, everybody is able to support customers, right? They have empathy, customer empathy, right? So that would definitely build trust, brand affinity, and customer experience. Then I'll quickly run through the strategies for user retention. One, personalization and relevance. Yes, I also included examples that you can, further research on and also incorporate to your product. So under personalization and relevance, we have AI-driven recommendations, behavioral insights to tailor experiences. We also have onboarding that creates aha moments. One key thing is ensure you show value early, right? Ensure you show value early, right? Ensure that your time to value is minimal, right? And also progressive onboarding. Instead of having to collect, let's say, like 10, or you have your users fill 10 form fields on one page, you can, you know, create, or you can sort of phase it, right? You can phase it. Step one, we want your personal details. Step two, we want to know more about you, right? Phase it. That's what progressive onboarding means. That way, it is instead of the user, saying 10 form fields like a long form, they will feel overwhelmed. Once you phase it, it's like just giving them the requirements in piecemeal, right? And it's going to be easier for them to engage or provide the information that you're requesting for. Number three, continuous engagement, right? I mentioned earlier, push notifications and emails. You have to be strategic about it, right? You have to do it without being intrusive. Also with gamification and incentives, right? Number four, community and social proof, user generated content, forums, social validation. Number five, customer support and feedback loops. So I mentioned that earlier. You need to ensure that your issue resolution process is quick, because that's what builds trust, and also iterating based on user feedback.
All right. Thank you so much for getting us up to this point, Bukomi. Great insights.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I have one question for you.
Yes, please go for it.
What's your thoughts on push notifications being funny and leaning into social media trends?
Mm. So, okay. So I would say that push notifications being funny, great, right? But you need to ensure that it's tailored to your type of audience. So take for instance now a banking application. It's serious business. Money is serious business. I don't want you to be sending me emojis, dancing emojis and the likes, because this has to do with money and it's serious business. But you can use that for maybe social media application, right? Because you're trying to connect to people. So I think that you just need to tailor it based on your type of audience.
All right. Thank you very much. I think we have some questions in the audience. Let's answer one or two and then you can go back to your slides. Okay. No, I can't see that side of the live. So I'm asking everybody, please start sending in your questions as Bukumi goes over the rest of the presentation. So short and sweet questions you can answer very quickly until Bukumi over to you.
All right, thank you so much, Ajiri. Okay. Yeah, so I also have real world examples. Case study one will be Duolingo. You see, Duolingo here uses habit formation with gamification, right? They make use of streaks, leaderboards, and rewards to keep users engaged, right? You can see I included the screenshots just to show you how they've implemented it. They have the concept of achievements and also leaderboards. So you can see you've earned 30,000 XP and the likes. This is just to continue to create that excitement for learning, right, within their user base. Then case study two, Netflix, that speaks to personalization and AI. Netflix recommendation engine drives stickiness, right? And it's amazing how they've been able to succeed with that. If you go on Netflix today, you would see, like I mentioned earlier, they continue watching feature. You would also see that they've been able to categorize movies based on the user's preferences. One thing they do is at the end of a movie, right, there is this form that comes up where they ask you to rate your experience, if you like the movie or if you dislike the movie. So they are collecting data from the user, right? But they don't just collect the data and keep it somewhere. They use it to create that sense of personalization on the application. So the next time I'm coming on Netflix, I'm seeing similar movies, right? Just based on that feedback that they got from me. So it's very important that we adopt the concept of personalization and AI, because recommendation engine is usually the algorithm, needs, so artificial intelligence is AI powered. So that's one way to drive stickiness. Then case study three will be Slack. Slack has a seamless onboarding, right? Their onboarding experience is it's amazing. You're able to create an account in less than a minute, you know. So it's something that it's exciting. Like, I don't need to take 5 minutes to land on the or to get into the application. It's really seamless. I also added examples from Spotify, right? Spotify has this feature, my listening personality. So based on on the music that you listen to, right, you're able to curate other genres based on your personality. So it's amazing how these applications have been able to you know come up with some concepts like this that drive stickiness.
All right, thank you so much, Bukunmi.
I have a question.
We have, yeah, we have. There are people with lots and lots of questions. Said, okay, how do you measure through true user loyalty beyond basic metrics?
That's a good question. How do you measure true user loyalty beyond basic metrics? I think it would be um, word of what's that thing called again? Referrals, right? If you as a user can promote an application, like you can promote an application, you can refer an app to your friends. I think that is true user loyalty. It means that the user has now become a marketer. And the only way you can get to that point for users is if you've been able to, like, if you've touched something in them. We have examples of apps that have done that. For instance, Google Maps. I remember when it came out then, I was just so impressed because it made navigation for me easy. So anyone like, oh, just download Google Maps. Even InDrive here in Nigeria, it's a lot more affordable than Uber and other ride hailing services. So I became, an advocate. Oh, just download InDrive. It's easier. You're able to negotiate your price. Do you understand? And even the people, the owners of the application, they don't know that I'm doing, that marketing for them. So I think if you can get a user to become an advocate for your product, that's true user loyalty.
All right, thank you so much for sharing. All right, Chindu says, are there any common mistakes companies make when trying to keep users engaged over the long term, and how can they be avoided? Let's do one mistake and one way it can be avoided.
Are there any common mistakes companies make when trying to keep users engaged over the long term and how they can be avoided? So I would say it's going to be around customer support, right? And once you've acquired a user, how you manage that relationship means a whole lot. So a lot of times companies don't pay attention to the type of people they employ, right, for the customer support operations. And you can just see, you have to, like, you as the founder or as an executive, you will think that you have your customer support is amazing, but the people who are in charge of that service, they go off on customers. They don't know how to talk. They don't know how to manage, frustrations and, a lot of things. So I would say that founders or executives should pay better attention, right, in hiring customer support agents.
All right, thank you very much for sharing that. Temi Lolua says, what about a product that has a timeline where you need it? How do you get users to stay when they're done with what they need? For example, an app that connected you to your partner.
I Do you want to rephrase this question?
Okay, I think what Timmy is saying is for dating apps, for example, that
Okay.
you only need to achieve a particular goal.
Mhm.
How would dating app retain you after you've achieved that goal? For example, you now have a partner and you don't need to be on the dating app.
Yeah, so part of the things I was going to touch on or I'm still going to touch on in my slide, talks about, iterations, like continuous iterations. For instance, now, a lot of dating apps, they just stop at that phase where they connect you to your partner, but they can take it a step further. They can create some form of maybe couple engagement or introduce couple engagement features so that you don't just connect with your partner and leave or leave the application. There are other exciting features that you and your partner can still use the application for that would help nurture your relationship. So I would say it's lies more with the owners of these apps, right? With the founders of these applications. If I owned a dating app and, I see that people are dropping off as soon as they connect with their partner, I would introduce another feature that, would the couples can then use to nurture their relationship. Does that answer your question? So it's all about
I
listening to your customers and I mean to the users and coming up with just predicting what they would need and making it available on the application. Okay.
All right. That's a very great perspective. How would AI trends shape user engagement in the next few years?
Amazing. AI has come to stay, right? AI has come to stay, and like I mentioned, it's going to be a driver for um, recommendations and also personalization, because part of the things that AI does is to observe um, your historical interaction with the application, right? The AI is able to gather that information, that data. How have you been interacting with the application, and can predict how you would use the application, in the future. So in the near future, could be the next day, 2 days, a month, or 3 months from now. So AI has come to stay, and I think it's going to be a major driver for user engagement over the next few years, and we can already see it. Like I mentioned in for Netflix, they use that a lot. They use AI for their recommendation engine, so it will definitely get better and improve user engagement over the next few years.
All right, thank you, Bukunmi. So many gems are being shared, and we have another question. It says, if a user has shown signs of disengagement, what strategies do you recommend to re-engage them and reduce churn?
Yeah, thank you for this question, Tomiwa. So it's very easy. Speak with your customers or with your users, right? Reach out to them, hear from them. Why did you leave the application? You would also see some apps, as at that point where they have this delete account feature where the user gets to share or provide a reason or reasons why they are exiting the application. So you can use this as, some form of, they're actually valuable information for you because you get to know why they are dropping off. And with that information that you get from them, you're able to, if it's a feature that you don't have on your app, right? If they call it out, I'm leaving because your app cannot do XYZ, right? Okay, this is what I need to introduce on the application that will keep this user engaged, right? Let me cite an example. So I think that was last week. Someone from Spectranet had called me because I was no longer enjoying their internet experience. So I switched to another network. So the representative called me and she asked me why I left, why I haven't subscribed for over 2 months. So I then, I told her point blank, I'm not enjoying the internet experience. The connection is always slow. I'm trying to do this, do that, but it's slow. And I was really impressed. She took about 10 minutes trying to explain what I can do, how they can be of help, and things like that. And I told her, okay, once my current subscription expires, I would reach out to her and she can put me through on what to do to make my internet experience better with Spectranet. So that is how these things work. And at the end of the day, it's by engaging with your customers or users one on one, you know. So that's why you see a lot of top brands, they invest in customer support. It's very important.
All right, thank you very much. We'll be wrapping up here. Do you have any final things to share very quickly in
Yeah.
under 2 minutes?
Yes. So I added a little a souvenir, right, for the audience. I think
Okay,
that's
amazing.
this can you find put up my slides? Because I'll need to get the link from there. Oh, okay, let me see if I can do this. All right. Let me just run through this. Yes, so I added my guiding principles for building impactful products. So what I did was to just document all the principles that I use, and I wanted to share with the house. So I would, I think I can copy the link here. So let me just get the link and share in the chat section. Okay.
That's amazing. We're going to make sure to add this in the description so anyone else that watches this later can also participate in this lovely giveaway. So
All
thank you
right.
so much for putting this together.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
All right. Okay. Bye for now, Bukunmi.
All right, thanks everyone, and take care.
All right, we've come to the end of today's lovely Tech Forward Talk session. I had a great time. I learned quite a lot. Most times we forget to talk to our customers, and I will be taking that as feedback for me, as something to do quite a lot right now. So thanks everyone for joining in live. If you're catching the replay, you can access the gifts that Bukunmi shared. And do not forget to follow Bukunmi on all socials. She shares gems like this. You can connect with her on LinkedIn at Bukunmi Folorunsho. You can follow her on Instagram at Bukunmi EY. And also, don't forget to follow Builders Tribe everywhere. So we're Builders Tribe HQ on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, everywhere you can find the social media, you can find us. And don't forget to subscribe. We do this more often. We share many different kinds of content that would help you on your tech and professional journey. Till we meet again, bye for now.
Bring that joy. Bring that joy.